we were pretty well set from that standpoint. Things went well for the North Scott School District financially with that, so it allowed us to do a couple more things that we really hadn't planned on, but because we still had money, we had to spend it by, I think it was January. I mean, that money was supposed to be accounted for.
Yeah,
by,
that was the goal.
So I think we've done a pretty good job with that.
Yep.
So
It's all earmarked.
okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to say kudos to Jill and her crew and Joe. So done very, very well from that
That's
standpoint.
right. Pretty well put, Frank. Anybody else? Oh, it's nice to be in a solvent district and doing so well. And just Jill staying up on this for us and helping explain it to us, because we're not all finance majors and or
School finances.
school finance. So to have her explain it to us and understand it, and now a lot of us are in her office a lot asking her questions, and she's just a great educator in that way. So, but thank you. I'll just piggyback off Frank. So with that being said, is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote?
Yep.
Great.
Would I?
Eckhart, aye.
Dittmer, aye. So, and motion passes. So thank you very much, and thanks for coming tonight, and whoever was here for the hearing.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Did you just do that?
Yep,
I'll
so-
second. I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. We will adjourn, and we will
Meet again at
have our
6.
meeting at 6 p.m. for our regular board meeting. Thank you very much. 5 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't quite as quick as they gambled in and out the phone.
Oh,
Really?
I didn't.
30
board meeting, we had done the Pledge of Allegiance already in the public hearing, so we'll pass that. I would like to tell everyone Tracy Lindemann is not with us tonight. She had ankle or arch foot surgery, so bless her heart, she's home recovering. And Morgan is at a concert tonight, correct? Okay, so the rest of us you have. We would like to do the approval of the agenda, however, there's an amendment to the agenda. The closed session is postponed until April 13th. So I'd like to amend that. And at this point, is there any discussion on the agenda otherwise?
Move to approve the amended agenda?
Second.
Okay. A motion and a second I have. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, any comments or suggestions from citizens? No students tonight?
Wow.
And no citizens tonight? Well, if
They're
you'd like to
lost.
submit comments to the board at any time regarding items on the agenda or any other suggestions or questions you might have, please go to the YouTube link that you find. And you can also email Mr. Studding at any time, and someone will for sure get back to you. Could I please have, let's talk about the consent agenda. Any discussion on that? Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay. We're at recognitions.
All
And, we do
right.
need to say Heather is here tonight, sitting in for Mr. Studding.
All
Thank
right.
you for being here.
Well, thank you. All right, we'd like to recognize the boys bowling. Lucas Pearson, 5th place. Caston Deuce, qualifier. Clayton Schroeder, qualifier. And the team was state 6th place. Boys wrestling. We have Cole Brunk, Matt Williams, Will McDermott, Colin Cruzy, Zach Green, Ben Lytle, Cade Kelly, Bruce Stewart, Bryce. Bryce. Oh, nice practice. Bryce Stewart.
Sounds good to me.
I said the name Bryce. Qualifier, Cole Kelly, Kepler.
Cole Green.
Cole Green. Kepler Carmichael, 6th place. Trey Feist, 7th place.
Good job.
Heather even told me earlier, she's like, I've been practicing the record.
Okay. MAC Player of the Year goes to Josiah Harrington for basketball. And for the All Jazz, State All Jazz Band, we have Nathan Anderson, Zach McMahon this year. I think that's it.
Very good. Thanks to all those kiddos. What a wonderful recognitions for them. Can we talk about the bills?
We can. This evening I have 1 million. I know, it's a big bills list.
You have
$1,926,653 with the bills presented for approval for payment. To highlight, I selected a payment to Everway Holdco for $13,410. That is for special education, math, curriculum, and implementation. There's a payment for $39,665. That was for a partial roof replacement, an emergency that needed to be taken care of at the high school. Glad that they got that done. And a payment to Scott Community College for $323,723. That's for first semester tuition and fees to Scott Community College. I think I already said, but
That's right.
thank you.
Any discussion from anyone?
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Committee reports. None. And tonight we're at Virgil Grissom, and the principal, Kyle, is going to give a little presentation.
And actually, I am going to introduce Kelly Houston, our instructional coach, and she's going to be presenting and talking about some of our literacy things that we've been doing around the school to really build up not just within the building and our students, but also just that family connection, how we're trying to connect more and more with reading everywhere. So really just a lot of fostering those partnerships with our families, in addition to a lot of the work that our teachers have been doing with their letters training, and just pulling it all together. Kelly has done some awesome things just leading our staff and leading our students, and got some cool stuff to share. So I'm going to turn it over to Kelly here.
All right. Okay, so just a few of our driving forces that kind of put all this into place this year for us. So we're constantly looking at our assessment data. How are our students doing compared to those in the district and the state? Where do we need to improve at? As Kyle mentioned, the letters training that our teachers have been engaged in for over 2 years. So we have a lot of takeaways from that. So we're just trying to keep implementing that into our schools. And then the state of Iowa with their comprehensive state literacy plan that we started implementing last year. So we just wanted to see like where could we take it this year. So I'll explain these a little further. But so from the Iowa School Performance Profile, Virgil Grissom was given an overall performance of exceptional. So this, showed us that we are doing many great things here, but we just want to, where can we take it from there, and how can we keep being exceptional? So we looked at our data, and as Kyle said, we're kind of focusing on literacy this year, but in the hopes to take it to the other subject areas, math, science, SEL in the future. So we had over 97% of our 3rd through 6th graders proficient in English, language arts, and ISASS. So again, teachers are doing a lot of great things, implementing the letters training that they have been engaged in, and our growth percentile was 73, so above that average of 50. So how can we just kind of push it a little further, especially those students that are kind of on the bubble? We want to make sure that they continue to grow and that we don't have any that slip behind. And letters training, so if you were at this meeting last year, I presented on the letters training with our 1st grade teacher that our teachers have been engaged in. So letters stands for Language Essentials for Teachers of Reading and Spelling. And it was provided through the state of Iowa. It's written in their state comprehensive literacy plan as professional development that teachers should engage in. And it just provides educators with in-depth knowledge and tools that they can use with any reading program. So it's actually been beneficial. We have had 3 of our teachers that have letters training did the pilot for ELA curriculum. So they were able to kind of take their knowledge that they learned in letters and kind of look at the curriculums through that lens to see which one, really had those best practices that they learned. So all of our K-5 teachers participated in letters training. I think all of them finished this December. So it was a big celebration because it was a lot of work. Our special education teacher, reading interventionist, we have one that is still ongoing in it. And then Kyle and I did the letters for administrators. So we also had lots of takeaways for like the literacy leadership aspect of it.
And I've also been in the letters for early childhood as well too. So we're trying to kind of hit every single one of the letters trainings that we can. And part of that too is just making sure that it just connects across the board. That consistency starting in preschool all the way up to 6th grade for our students.
But what does it entail to get this training, the certification? Like, are all of our administrators certified? I don't know if you call it certified.
I was going to say
Trained.
I was going to say I'm not sure if all of them are. I know a number of them, did participate in the training. And the letters for administrators really focus more like on a systems level look at it, whereas the letters for the educators, like the ones that the teachers have been taking part in, is really more based in the theory and the practice and what we're seeing in there. So, yeah.
And I think it is still ongoing. The state's still offering it. I don't think they've used up all their.
Correct. I'd say about every 6 months, the state seems to send out just an invite to, hey, we've got more licenses that we can provide for letters training. So that's been something that, again, for our staff to really capitalize on that opportunity has been great.
Good.
A lot of work. many hours.
Correct, yeah.
And then this kind of encompasses the Iowa State Comprehensive Literacy Plan. So again, like I said, this was rolled out last year. So last year we were kind of just trying to figure out all the pieces and how to incorporate it into our system. So last year we focused really a lot on like our quality assessment system, making sure all of our students were universally screened, using that screen of data to determine who needed an intervention, making sure those students had personalized reading plans, using data to make sure the intervention fit them. And like I said, there's that professional learning to support professional growth and reflection. So that's where like the letters training comes in. And even though all of our teachers couldn't do letters training, like specials teachers, 6th grade teacher couldn't do it at the time, I incorporated that into our building professional development, so I'll talk a little bit more about that. But we really focused on like vocabulary, because vocabulary is something that, you know, any teacher can implement in their classroom, the PE teacher, music teacher, art teacher. So we kind of looked at those instructional practices that we learned in letters and did professional development with that so that all teachers could become aware of that. And then so that the yellow families as educational partners, that's kind of where we tried to focus a lot of our attention this year. How can we engage our families more, keep that learning ongoing at home, make sure, you know, the students then preschool and kindergarten, when it's really important that they have those literacy rich environments at home, how can we try to reach them? So. And this is a core belief that is taken right from the Iowa State Comprehensive Literacy Plan. Family and community partnerships are crucial for improving student literacy achievement by providing a supportive and collaborative environment that extends beyond the classroom. So this is what a lot of what we are implementing this year is kind of centered around. So again, we kind of took that and talked as a staff, like, how can we do that? So our focus was really to engage families and caregivers in literacy efforts, starting this year and then thinking beyond that for the following years. We wanted to create a shared responsibility for student success. That's where that vocabulary comes in. When I did professional development last year, and there was a fact that like students need to learn like 800 to 2,000 words per year, and that really drives their comprehension and understanding of what they read. So we wanted as a staff to kind of create that shared responsibility of how can we incorporate that into our school so that our students were learning vocabulary words everywhere. And then support reading development, again, in home and community settings. So all of that led to these school-wide initiatives that we have implemented this year. So I'll talk a little bit more about each of these, but we have our word of the week with that vocabulary connection, monthly reading challenges, so that students can see that reading can be fun and enjoyable, especially outside of school. Literacy newsletters sent out to caregivers so that they can get like some tips and ideas on how to incorporate literacy at home. And then the latest one is the digital resource hub for caregivers, which we just rolled out last week. So the first thing we implemented, we started talking about this last year when we were talking about vocabulary and how can we just expose our students to as many words as possible. So we developed the word of the week. This is designed to promote learning and literacy through the expansion of word knowledge and vocabulary skills. So there's a word of the week each week. This week's word is analyze, so there's posters up all around the building for students to see. And usually it's a word that's related to something academic, maybe social, emotional. It's ISASP testing this week, so that's why analyze is this week's word. They'll probably see it on the test a lot. But then this was also a way for me to model that explicit vocabulary instruction that we learned in our letters training. So I do the word of the week, and I'll run you kind of through what it looks like. Each morning I do an element of it, but teachers are getting exposed to that explicit vocabulary instruction every day. So it's always on their mind, like, oh, this is what I should be doing when I'm teaching new vocabulary words, whether it's in reading, science, social studies, PE, music. And then everybody in the school encourages students to use the word of the week in conversations. Teachers have them use it, you know, when they're writing in the classroom, so they can earn a house chip if they get caught using the word of the week. So, like, everybody in the staff is aware of it and encouraging it. And then in my newsletters, I say what the word of the week is, and they're encouraged to use it at home too. So teachers are given like a presentation every week, but then I do it on announcements every morning, so it's live. We even have our own theme song and everything. But then teachers can use the slideshow if they want more of a visual. Otherwise, they'll just listen to me on the announcements. So we talk about what the word is. We kind of dissect that word, talk about the properties of it, map the words, and then what part of speech, the definition. This is all shared on Monday. And then on Tuesdays, we review it and then do synonyms and antonyms. On Wednesdays, we talk about like different examples, non-examples of the word. There might be a little video incorporated as well. Thursday, we use the word in a sentence. I give them some examples, then students try it on their own. And then Friday is kind of like application. So we look at, you know, examples again, and then students might try to do it on their own or find examples at home during the week, things like that. So that is our word of the week to try to build our vocabulary and incorporate it more into our schools. The next thing that we started was monthly reading challenges. And again, this was just to kind of like show students reading can be fun, reading can be done outside of school. So trying just to engage them in different ways. So these are just some of our ones that I wanted to highlight. October we did visit the library. So you can see some students got their library card for the very first time. So they're visiting, they just had to visit the library, take a picture, send it in. That's all they had to do. So each month is a little different. November was National Family Literacy Month. So they needed to, you know, take a picture of themselves reading with another family member. So you can see that that kind of helped create that engagement at home. One parent, when they were emailing their picture, said, like, so-and-so read tonight and his little sister got to hear a book, so it was great. So just having those opportunities to capture that. And then in February, we did our Love of Reading Challenge. So this was more of a class competition, but each time a student read a book or 20 pages in a chapter book, they filled out a link to a chain, and then the class with the most links won at the end of the month. And so it was a good visual in the hallways for everybody to see how much we were reading. And of course, the rewards are a big incentive for them to complete the reading challenge. So each student that completes the reading challenge each month, they get to come to my office, and it could be a hot cocoa bar, a popcorn bar. We did root beer floats, Sundae bar one time. So
Cool.
yeah, so that's what makes it fun, right?
So nice.
So, and then our literacy newsletters. So this was just kind of a way to pull everything together. So it provides resources, information, and strategies to caregivers with our tip of the month. And then we have a little word of the week section. So just again, reminding parents that your child is learning these words at school, see if they can use it at home, ask them what it means. I have the reading challenge flyer on there to, again, for them to remember about that. And then contact information that they can always contact me for any additional questions that they might have. And so this goes out once a month in our school newsletter. I also send it to teachers so that they can send it to their parents as well. So teachers have been a big part of this too, with promoting it, making sure that the newsletters are sent to parents, promoting the reading challenges with their students, trying to get all their students involved participating in the Word of the Week. So definitely couldn't do it without that. And then our newest one, so the Iowa State Literacy Plan was kind of just revamped and had a lot of resources for parents and families on there. So I wanted to create a way that they could access kind of all those great resources without it being too overwhelming. So I put together this caregiver resource hub. And like I said, this is also in the newsletter. It was just sent out last week, so it's kind of brand new. I did create a video just to kind of like show how to navigate around it with that, but then I plan to do like a hub highlight each week where I will highlight the resources that are on here just to give parents a little bit more information about them and how they could be used effectively. And so each of these takes you to a link. So I have like the Iowa Standards Family Guides linked in there for each grade level. It'll take you there. The Iowa Reading Research Center has a lot of great activities, so those are linked right in there. And then this is where we're starting to try to incorporate math, some math elements as well. So the math moments that the state of Iowa just released this year, those are all available in there as well. So just trying to show caregivers what resources are out there and additional ways to promote that continued learning at home. And then just next steps for us, we plan to send out a survey to caregivers just to see if there are any additional roadblocks or barriers that we haven't thought of. You know, what other information might they need? How might it be helpful to get that information out to them? As a staff, we'll reflect on this year, what went well, what needs improvements, and then where can we go from here, especially for next year, trying to connect more of math in there, and how can we just try to, you know, foster those partnerships a little bit more. We've already kind of taken our word of the week and adapted it to skill of the week for our social emotional learning. So we're going to test run that at the end of this year and focus on a social emotional skill each week, just so that students have that kind of consistent message and expectations to them. So,
Kelly,
any questions?
it's phenomenal.
You
I'll
might
start.
have.
I love how you're involving families, engaging families and community, but in all this entire school, you know, here, and the shared responsibility is huge.
Mm-hmm.
This is phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the hub that you created.
It's excellent. Oh my gosh.
Accumulate all those resources in one place is really awesome, and I could see somebody like, oh, where should I go?
Yeah.
But you know, it's great to have it in one place. And
Yeah, that's why I think it'll be important to do kind of that hub highlights where just focus on one at a time, but at least get it out there for them. Because I mean, yes, looking at what the state of Iowa put out there, it was overwhelming. So how can we kind of sift through it?
Really user friendly. Like,
Yeah.
it looks fun.
It's supposed to be. There's a lot of great things out there, and I want families to know about it. So
super.
Are you sharing this with other school elementaries?
no.
Kelly.
Yeah, if they want to.
Yeah. They should know about this. This is excellent.
I got two things for you. First of all, going back to one of your first slides, you have the performance profile, and 97.3% proficient in English language arts. And then the English language arts median student growth was 73 percentile. I mean, I'm looking at that, and I would think that it might be a little bit higher, but I think, is it two different testing that,
The growth
you know what I'm
is.
saying? There's one test does
Yeah.
this, because I remember a few years back, that the proficient, to me,
Yeah.
wasn't really high, you know, like a borderline, and you got over there, but you would always want to get them a little bit higher. And it looks to me like this is really two different tests, or is it two different people scoring?
It's the same test. So if you're proficient, that means you're at grade level or benchmark and above.
Okay.
And then there's your growth score. So I can be proficient but have very little growth.
Right.
Or I can be not proficient,
Okay.
have large growth.
Because it's
So
a
that's,
student
makes
year
sense.
after year, year over year.
yeah, to get the growth measure, it's a very complicated, I don't know
Yeah.
the formula,
Mhm.
but they always say that they compare like students. So a student that is similar to you and scores similar to you, what is the growth of that group, and you're compared to that group, yeah, year to year.
That's where sometimes a very intelligent student doesn't
Yep.
see much growth.
Exactly.
Because they are already up there.
There's not
So-
much.
Right, I see.
Okay. Second thing, and I'm gonna go back with what Jody, you said, are you sharing at other schools? I believe I was fortunate to hear a seminar where a school district was doing reading. I'm gonna say district-wide, is basically, I think it was the town of Sigourney. And it was at noon, everybody stopped whatever they were doing, and they read for 15 or 20 minutes. And they even showed a UPS driver stopped, pulled over the side, had a book, and was reading. So very contagious, and I just
Yeah.
think that, something like this could grow even more if you got everybody together. And I'd love it that you're getting into with parents. That's just throwing out a little tennis ball. for
Well,
you.
and I would say too, just with the word of the week, so that was something that at the end of last year, teachers started, when we were thinking about, all right, how can we kind of push this a little bit more? And we came up with that concept. And at first it was like, oh boy, we're gonna take up a little bit more teachers' time in the beginning of the day, and the morning's busy. I mean, it is just part of the routine now, and she mentioned the theme song. I'm sad we don't have a recording, but it's funny, because we'll have kids that are dropping off lunch slips in the office, and then they hang around so that they can sing the theme song with Kelly up there. But it really has just become part of the routine for Virgil Grissom, that we've got the pledge, and then we go into word of the week. And again, as Kelly was mentioning too, that's an opportunity for her to be modeling for our classroom teachers. Hey, here's a way that we can introduce, vocabulary. It ties into the work that our teachers have been doing with UFly lessons, with their ELA work, just the way that she breaks it apart. She has students breaking words apart and talking about, hey, how do you find the different syllables, identifying vowel sounds in there. And one of the things that, a question we kind of had going into it was, all right, we've got some of these words, and you'll see analyze and flexible and all kinds of words like that are some pretty big ones, are how's kindergarten or first grade? They are totally engaged with it as well, and so it's really fun and interesting to see and hearing those students engage in it the same way that our 5th and 6th graders are too. And so that's been something that's been really cool just to see, again, how it's become routine for our students and staff here, but just also the engagement.
Wonderful. Well, now it's Go the Week. I think that is
Yeah,
gonna be
Gonna try that out.
so
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just nice to have something to connect every grade level.
Yeah.
Like consistency, everybody knows about it.
Learning throughout
6th
it.
grader can talk to a 1st grader about it, and
Wow.
they're all exposed
Thank you
to it,
so much.
What's the percentage of students participating in your monthly?
reading challenge.
Just-
Usually it's about 50 to 60%. Yeah.
So
So
you get to see a lot of them for treats.
yes, I am known as the truth.
There's
that-
been a few challenges I know that you got done, you're like, all right, they really like that
Yeah.
one. It was,
Yeah.
and again, that's been another one too, where, we started off really strong with good engagement, and again, you kind of, sometimes you start off strong with something and then it tapers off. But again, each month that engagement with students and with families is still there, and you'll have students that are looking for Mrs. Houston in the morning to get their new sheet because they filled out one of their forms or they need another one, and they're excited about it too. So. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty visual around here too, of learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks to you guys.
What sorts of things as a board can we do to help support
Oh, good
more
question.
of what you're doing?
I don't know.
Something to always keep in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can come on treat day.
I was gonna say, after I scooped my
Sponsored
6th
Yeah,
my
we could
6th
come and scoop
Sunday
ice
there.
cream.
Yeah.
Good question.
No, that would be great,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, let
I'd
us
love
know.
to see you guys and come in and help with that.
Kelly, great job. Just one question on the
resources page?
Yes.
Are you tracking any sort of usage clicks and?
So I have like the Canva link that will track how many visitors to that link, but then I also have like the PDF version, and I don't think that one tracks necessarily. But in the survey that we'll send out probably the next month or so towards the end of the year, which again, just depends on what parents see that and participate in that. But there will be questions on, you know, did you use this? Were you able to, you know,
Yeah, your
make
surveys
use of
and
this?
stuff.
Yeah. So, but we will be able to see if they click on the Canva link, how many visitors.
Maybe one of your months is a family challenge, right, where they go home and they use the resources with their parents or something.
Oh,
That'd be
yes.
good, yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Right, put the parents to
Mhm.
work.
Yeah.
That'd be a really good one. Good idea.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Excellent job. Great
You guys
job.
sit down
It's
all
fun to
the
see. We're looking forward to next year to see what you've done.
Yeah.
Skill of the week and all. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Old business, there's none, and let's move on to new business, there's quite a bit. We'll start with the school district budget for 2026-27, and Jill, would you like to discuss any more?
Just briefly, so this
Yeah,
this
briefly.
agenda item is regarding approval to publish the FY '27 budget, so we can approve it then at the following meeting. If you remember, we have to have 2 publications and 2 meetings for it now. I did update this one for the audience. We had a finance work session the first week of the month, and this has been updated since then to reflect the new tax rate of $11.36.
Yeah.
Other than that, I guess I'm just asking for board approval to publish the budget summary.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
Make a motion for approval
Second.
for the public hearing.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Any more discussion? Okay, thank you, Jill. Now, we have David Lindenbrink here, the expert on student-built homes. We're very appreciative of you being here and all your hard work.
Sure, no problem.
So we'll go through this list one by one. We don't need to vote on
Okay.
each one.
So
So
I
the first
have-
one is total landscape services.
Yep, we have $1,535 on our bid for that with a $300 discount for a final price of $1,237.50. This is for the grade at the home, grading, before we put the sod in.
Okay, thanks. Is there any discussion on this? Okay.
On a
Look
motion
for
on
it.
move to accept the total landscape services bid.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Again, any discussion on that? No? Okay. Now, the next in the student-built home is 7 City Sod.
Okay, we're purchasing sod for our student-built home. The quote was $3,500, $650 discount for a final price of $2,850 to purchase sod for the home.
Great.
Motion to approve? Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Any discussion on that?
The kids lay the sod or the 7 City side?
Yeah, students like that.
Okay.
We
That's a
get
good
the
job.
squares, yeah.
All right, good.
Not the rolls.
All right.
Yeah.
We want to keep them busy.
That's a good question. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to student-built home Zeglin's.
Yes, Zeglin's gonna be our appliances for this year. The bill bid was $9,047 with a $700 discount with a final price of $8,347 for our appliances.
Make a motion to approve the Zeglins.
Second.
Motion, second, okay.
I'm
Any discussion?
Did the new?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm assuming they picked out the range?
Yes,
Okay.
there was yeah.
Seems like a 6,000 is probably more of a custom.
Well, what was it? I was gonna ask it too. What appliances are we talking about here?
The reason why that bid is a little bit more is, with the layout of the kitchen, the windows, and the countertops, we had to go with a 36-inch range.
Oh.
When you pick a 36-inch range out, there's not as many available, so that is kind of what was selected with the home design that we went with. Noted for next time, probably not to pick out the 36-inch range, so I appreciate you asking that question, because it is,
Oh,
year over
this
year.
This isn't the one that,
no, we had to get that no matter what.
we haven't sold it yet? We have
We
some-
did so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, just background information, just so you know, are fully aware of what's going on, is this is our bid that we went for our spec home, and our customer did go in and pick out some upgraded appliances,
Okay.
but they will pick up the difference.
Extra
in
cost,
the-
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So their
we'll
cost
settle
is not
that.
reflected in any of the things we're approving tonight?
No, no.
Okay.
And if you would want access to that information, I have completed 12 change orders, both in a positive and negative for the district, meaning our homeowner is saving money or they're spending money. And, we're documenting that through our team and, being transparent so everybody kind of knows what's going on there. When we close, everybody's going to be on the same page.
And sometimes those sell the house, I mean, we could be sitting with a $6,000 range without it sold, so.
Yes,
yeah, that's-
there's positive and
Yeah.
negatives of what we're doing.
And I'm sure the kids learned a lesson about,
Yeah.
that stuff comes up in construction's real stuff, right? So
It does.
real learnings, so. It's good.
Today, we picked out the grout color for the exterior stone, and in previous years, whatever we did would be totally fine, but not this year, because our homeowner's gonna pick that, so
Yeah.
we have to be on our toes and make sure we put the right grout on.
Mhm.
We're one example.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I have a motion and a second, for this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes, thank you.
Ziglin's is good to deal with, though. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Student built home, new look construction.
Okay, new construction is gonna provide our gutters to us. Our quote was $1,295.50, and that is our final price.
Motion approved? Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. The student built home, Chilu Masonry, am I saying that right?
Chulu Masonry, yeah.
Masonry.
That's a quote for $4,500, a $700 discount, final price of $3,800. This is gonna be for the stone for the exterior of the home, both the stone and the labor there, so that's our bid for that.
Motion to approve? Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? I was gonna ask that, there was labor too.
Yeah.
And was it hard to find them?
We have used Chulu every single year.
Okay. I was wondering.
I did look at last year's bid to compare year-over-year costs, and it was the same as last year,
That was
so
my
I thought
next
that
question.
was
Okay.
pretty respectable with.
About the same.
With inflation, I thought that was pretty fair. And they've done a
Okay.
good job.
Thanks for looking into that.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Lancer Run, IRIG Works. You discuss that?
Heather, do you wanna start? and I can-
It's a reduction in cost, I think we can
Yes,
approve
that's-
that.
Yeah, we can.
Thumbs up there.
No discussion.
Yeah,
Please do.
I opened the proposal and then went down
I know.
to comments, and it looks like they're eliminating
They're
4
eliminating.
poles, and that the city is picking those up, and they're eliminating some other things because it turned into a single family, and then
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a new hydrant going in.
Oh,
Fire hydrant going in instead of, it looks like repairing the old one at request of the city.
yeah,
But it
okay.
is a reduction.
As long as we don't have
I
any
can-
services.
I would like to save you money.
Thanks. Okay, any discussion? All right.
Need a motion on that?
Mhm.
Yep.
Move to accept IRIX.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Again, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Now, I guess you're done, David.
Thank you. I will be sending out invitations shortly.
Oh, yes.
And we will be sending out scholarship information for our students. 24 out of 24 students got scholarships last year, so
Ooh.
look for the
They'll fill it out.
invitations. And
And
we'll,
awards.
mid-May, probably on the celebration there at the home
Okay.
once we're done.
And this is the awards banquet thing.
Yep,
Good. All right.
thank you.
Thank you,
I
David, for
appreciate
coming.
Thanks, David.
No problem.
All right, the playground fencing timeline line for Glenn, Armstrong, Grissom, and White. Is there anything that we need to
It looks like
discuss?
bids will be open on May 4th, and then approval by the board would be May 11th. They've already requested it went out, tomorrow, the request will go out tomorrow. I'm a day ahead of myself, March 31st. They'll send out the request for the playgrounds.
Any other discussion? it appears we want this, so.
Motion.
Motion.
Is it a, oh, this was just.
Says it's a voice vote.
Motion to approve the playground fencing timeline.
Second.
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 Have a motion and a second. Again, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Now we have the superintendent's report. Heather, you're doing a fantastic job.
Well, thank
Keep it
you.
going.
Thank you. All right, we've included the enrollment, the updated enrollment in here. Oh, my page just jumped on me. So that's included in here. And then we also have public forum dates. We have April 14th, 6 o'clock at McCausland City Hall, and May 14th, 5 p.m. at Princeton City Hall. So we just want
Yes, I think everybody's gotten invites to that. Thank you so much, Heather. Board comments and correspondence? Anybody, we do have a thank you to the Jansen family and a thank you to Jerry Doty family. And I would like to also say condolences to the Joe Ragona family. He was a legend, an icon. I'll probably start crying right now because he was just a sweetie, and he was just a wonderful man. We're going to miss him. His presence in the community. He did a lot of things to shape the elementaries, and he's going to be sorely missed. He used to say to me and Christy Lispy, "What are you two doing here?" So we used to go down and bug him all the time. I have a lot of stories. But anyway, he was a darling person, good educator. Anything else from anyone?
I just quick report, I came back from the CASPA conference in Louisville last week. Attended several sessions on AI. It's very interesting that school districts are using AI for teacher evaluations, which is very impressive. I actually listened to the guy one session and went back to his second session to see how it's all done. So I've got some information from them. And he said that when they did the correlation between an adult, basic principals going and doing the evaluation versus AI, it was 0.05 difference. And you get so much more with the AI evaluation. So it's not like the principal's done with it, but all the time you spend writing up the eval, it's done for you. And it includes if a teacher is at proficient, what they need to do to be at the next level. So I was really intrigued with that. I know I gave something to Joni, who's on the safety committee.
Yeah.
And I went to a session on behavioral threat assessments, which is something else that really interests me as far as student behavior. And I gave something to Michelle on student surveys. I did talk to this company, and I know that we're always looking at what kind of surveys can we have for our kids when they exit, what are they doing, and how well the school did, and so forth. And they will do an exit survey for us just for seniors for $400, just to get kind of their foot in the door. But they do a follow-up survey too if we would want them, and that's a little bit more pricey. The unfortunate thing during that trip is that if you remember last weekend we had that snowstorm, and I drove down to Louisville with another member, and on the way home I picked up 2 more riders. Our executive director and another board member, Amy Jurens, who lives up in George, Iowa. Unfortunate thing happened. Amy was in a severe traffic accident after they dropped off DT in Des Moines, and she passed 3 days later. So prayers and everything went out for her. Her funeral was on Saturday. So a tremendous individual. Some of you probably ran into her at the conferences here, but it was a fantastic conference, just a fantastic conference, and unfortunately we had that. So.
I do think that it would be good to have a facility meeting for our board. I'll talk to Joe about it, and a safety report we need.
Okay.
I know you brought it up, the safety report, but this is
Appreciate
just
it.
very good information, and
Okay.
we need, I think those are 2 meetings we need to be having, or presentation for sure.
I did give some information to the board members that I just toying around a little bit with
Oh, yeah,
contract, so
yeah,
take a look at it, see what you
yeah,
think.
well, we'll have that closed session. Anything else?
I had the opportunity to guest speak in Mrs. Lane's independent living class on how to buy a house, and that was really fun. And the students were really engaged, and it was a really nice opportunity to get to just talk to some kids. And I really enforced being good credit conscious college students, and et cetera. And but it was great. It was a great time.
Thanks for doing that,
Yep.
Stephanie. Anybody else?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
Favor say aye, move out. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job. Presentation was excellent.
Oh, next time I'm gonna say Erin.
I took a picture of one.
Yes, I know.